Hi, everybody. I'm Melinda Gallant, and I want to invite you to watch today our next Cape Conversation. Oh my gosh, are you going to have fun? It is terrific, and we are sitting in a very special place on Water Street in Sandwich. Where could it be? I don't know. Come along and let's have a Cape Conversation. Hi, everybody. I'm Melinda Gallant, and I am so excited to be sitting in what was the Thornton Burgess falling down house and is now gorgeous. It is so wonderful. I am sitting here with Jen and Michael, the people that have taken this place from Full Circle Homes, and they have made it spectacular. Welcome to Cape Conversations.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah.
We're excited to have you here.
Oh my gosh, you guys are so great. So, first of all, I have seen your special, or it's not a special, so tell me about it, Jen. What do you do on HBO?
So we're on HGTV.
Yeah.
We're on the HBO Max, Discovery Plus, and HGTV, but it's all HGTV. Time Warner's HGTV.
Right.
And our show is called Houses with History, and we restore antique homes that are fallen down for ourselves or clients. We do everything from design to the restoration. And Mike has digs into the history of each house. It's really, it's a really different show for HGTV, the history piece. So we love it that people are excited about it. But we're in our second season. We did 6 houses the first season, and we did 8 houses this season. And we were very excited to be in our hometown in Sandwich to do the Deacon Eldred House.
That's right. You're both from Sandwich.
We are. In fact, we both grew up walking right up and down the street going to
the wing school.
The wing school. Yeah,
there
exactly.
You go.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Sandwich school kids make good. That's what we'll call this.
Perfect.
Anyway, so Michael,
Yeah.
so you're the contracting end of everything.
Yeah, so we, in tandem, have a general contracting business. And, my role, I always kind of say, is I like to give Jenny a clean slate to come in and design it and make the houses a place that you want to live in. Sure. I come up with a lot of ideas, or we bounce ideas off of each other. Make the place structurally sound, do a lot of kind of the big, crazy, weird things. And then Jen comes in and just, between the paint, the kitchen textures, the furniture, the staging, all of it just kind of comes out of her head.
Yeah.
And collaboratively, we're both antique hounds and such.
Yeah.
But she's really amazing at, she'll be thinking about a house as we're walking through an antique store and pick this vase up and this plate and this, and oh, I know where that's going to go, and this, and I'm going, okay. Yeah, I'm like, sure, whatever.
I don't know. I think he downplays what he does, because we do antiquing a lot, and the things that he finds, and he's very inquisitive about things. So he'll find, like, there's a fire bucket over there that he found, and he researches it and he really gets into it, and he does the same thing with every house. Right. So that really does inspire the design too. And in this house, we knew what this was before. I used to walk from the school to here. My mother worked here, and my grandmother.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and my father was on the board of directors.
Oh my gosh,
so
that's
it's really
wonderful.
Yeah. So my childhood was spent quite often in this house. This was the store. This side.
I know.
Yeah, and the shipping room was upstairs, and my grandmother worked there for 25 years. So to me, it was very emotional for me to be in this house again and see it in disrepair. And I remember all the years that we were here. I mean, Mrs. Tickham did an incredible job. She had lines down the street for people buying cup plates. It was a Courier and Ives.
All of us have those crazy cup plates, and now what do we do with them? Our kids don't want the cup plates.
Oh, I can show you what I did with some of my cup plates in my own personal collection.
I'm going to have to see
They're
that.
upstairs. It is an art project that Jane Walsh from Coastal Art Glass made for us. And we do use a lot of local artisans in everything that we do. I mean, right down to the, the pottery that's hanging on the walls. That room that was made by Miranda Thomas in Vermont or Shackleton Thomas.
Yep,
Thank
the
you.
furniture factory.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
And I like your nod to Thornton Burgess. Even the runner has bunnies.
That's right.
There's bunnies everywhere.
There's bunnies everywhere.
If you look close, you'll find a bunny.
Right. Besides outside in the yard,
Correct.
whichever we're in Sandwich.
Well, that's what I always joke about with Jenny, because she's kind of an animal whisperer.
Yeah.
I think she spent more time trying to pick up turtles and falling into the pond than anything else. And,
when I was little.
Yeah. So it just kind of reminds me of it.
Oh, that's great.
I mean, we all loved Stu Parsons and all the nature classes.
Right.
I was a huge fan of all of that. So
that's terrific. So you found out that the property was going up for sale by the town.
Right.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
And you went, oh my gosh, we have to have this.
Yes, that's exactly what we did.
And you worked out the deal.
Well, I mean, it's interesting, and a lot of people don't always understand when a town has a disposition of property, as they say. Typically, they have to make that available for a public bid.
Yeah.
So there's a request for proposal or an RFP process, and you submit it basically blindly, and you hope and pray, and that's about all. And you have no idea.
Tell you anything.
That's correct. And then the bids go in by a certain date, and then you just wait.
Yeah, it's kind of like a blind bid, but Michael did do a ton of work on the proposal, and we did all the designs ahead of time. We made sure we checked in with Mass Historic. Can we do this? There was no kitchen here. There was really only one dysfunctional bathroom, no heating system, no septic system.
Nothing.
So we, put the full proposal in ahead of time, all
everything
thought
that you
out.
would do.
We drew it all, we do CAD drawings. And we made sure that everything right down to the paint colors was spelled out ahead of time.
Oh, so
it took us about 6 months just to put the proposal together.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So you're right. There was nothing in here because it was really kind of a gift shop store, historic space.
Right.
That people could give tours out and around the pond and talk about Thornton Burgess.
Exactly.
So when you came in, you had to think, oh my gosh, where did we want to put the kitchen? Where do we want?
That's correct.
Yeah.
And where are we going to run all those pipes?
Well, and the real interesting thing with a house like this, especially with the historic restrictions, a normal house, even a historic house, you might think, where do I want to put the kitchen? Where do I want to put the bathroom?
Right.
We didn't have that choice. We could only
do certain
things.
They did allow for an addition, but we didn't really want to do the addition.
Yeah.
So.
Well, there wasn't so I watched the show, and I saw the photo of the woman who lived here, who was a Burgess.
Yeah.
The aunt, right?
Arabella.
Yeah, Arabella. And Arabella was a little eccentric, I think.
She was a lot eccentric.
So I can't imagine what you found in the walls with the animals that lived here. However, this was a huge building.
There were two additions, actually. There was a wing off of the driveway side that was 2 stories, and then there was an addition off the back that was also 2 stories.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
Now, who tore that down?
It was in the 70s.
Yeah, when the women's club, which Nancy Titcomb was a part of, the Sandwich Women's Club, originally took on the volunteer effort
because it was falling down.
Right, to restore this.
Yeah.
They removed those additions.
I see.
And then brought it back to what was the original core of the house, which is what we're sitting in today.
Right.
Right, and it's the oldest residence on Cape Cod in the oldest town. So the town.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I did not. Well, I always think of Hoxie House.
Yep.
Right.
Because that was the oldest.
Yeah. Apparently, this is the oldest residence.
Oldest
That's
continuous residence.
Continuous residence.
Yeah.
So the town wanted to make it back, and they wanted to see it be brought back to a
I see.
residence.
I see.
So
Did you talk to Nancy? And
We
oh
did.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
we did.
she's such
We
a
talked
delight.
to her.
She was
is.
actually,
She's lovely.
it was fortunate enough, and she was open to doing it. She was the historian beat, as we say, in the show, the episode for this.
Right.
And I got a chance to talk to her, and she was able to enlighten me. I went into her house, and she said, the fireplace you see in the Deacon Eldred House, the mantle surround, that was all modeled after my original one here.
Oh my
because
gosh.
much of the stuff was damaged or
Sure
removed.
gone, yeah.
And so it was like, seeing history come alive, just walking into her house, but then just hearing the story from her.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
I
Sure.
just saw her a few days ago, and she is 92.
I know,
and
she's a hot
still
ticket.
remembers everything.
She's sharp
from
as a
when,
tack.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and she just gave up the reins of the bookstore not too long ago.
Yes.
So,
Yep.
which is kind of funny, just,
Yeah.
But that's what they say. They say keep working, keep having interest.
Yeah,
So has she
exactly.
been in the house yet or no?
She is not. So we were going to make sure that she
a
gets the
tour.
first invite for
Yeah.
the public town open house. We will
Right.
do 2 town open houses a year.
Wonderful.
That's a requirement to own
Sure.
the house. So.
Sure. And,
Yeah.
and that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's,
Yeah, we were
perfect.
hoping, this summer we'll do one, and then probably one at Christmas time.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So this was easy to do, right? Just a piece of cake.
Oh,
There you go.
like
and
nothing.
the town said, "Oh, just give us $1,
Yeah.
and we'll
No.
move on,
No.
Yeah,
and,
No.
and everything will be fine." And
Well, the
Yeah.
big trick with this house or trying to restore and renovate a house like this, even with the historic restrictions,
Sure.
and especially so, is you have to find the materials first off. You can't just go buy the stuff that you need.
right,
You have to make a
Can't
lot
use,
of the
you
materials.
can't use Trex.
No, not at all. And then you add in the fact that we were, on the tail end of the worst pandemic we've ever been in any of our lifetimes.
Right.
So prices were through the roof.
Right.
Nothing's available. We had stockpiled stuff in our salvage barns for years, and luckily we had some stuff that we could use. And then for the rest of it, we just manufactured it here on site.
Yeah,
I mean, the
and even-
guys were
right.
doing the woodwork,
Yeah.
making the moldings, everything right here in the house.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
even down to the horsehair plaster. The horsehair is synthetic for the newer plaster. It's still lime. It's lime. It's the traditional lime
Right.
plaster, but we had to use horsehair. So our poor plaster, had to drive out to Springfield for some strange reason because he couldn't get it anywhere else.
Oh
so,
my gosh.
But yeah, so there are all the old techniques used in the house.
So what does that do for insulation?
Well, I mean, what we
Because
had...
you don't have blown in.
No,
insulation,
what we
none of
had
that.
to do here is just be really careful. I mean, where we have envelope walls, we were able to do some insulating.
That's good.
Where we don't, we couldn't.
Yeah,
right.
And that's what we tried to use. We used a faced fiberglass where we could, but we wanted to maintain as much breathability in the house as
Sure.
possible because that's what allowed it to last as long as it has.
Right.
I see.
Right.
And then
Oh,
we did
now-
what we did in the attic too. We just kind of laid down on top
Yeah.
of the floor just to kind of create some kind of an insulation barrier.
So it was the attic where you found a big leak.
We found a huge leak
Around the
and
fireplace?
around the whole entire chimney.
Oh, jeez.
So when
After we
this,
finished the walls downstairs, there was water
Yeah.
pouring from that window there.
yeah, pouring,
That's always a good feeling.
Oh yeah.
pouring from the window, the
And you're
front
going,
door.
wait, there's no bathroom above, and this
Yeah.
is the first
Yeah,
floor.
there's a problem.
Well, you could actually see we put brand new shingles on the outside, and
Yeah,
you
you
could
could
see
see the
the
line.
rain lines
Oh,
Yeah.
my
coming right
gosh.
through the shingles.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
So before we could do anything and finish the plaster or anything, we had to try to dry it out.
Yeah.
And what we discovered, which you discover a lot of times, is whoever had done the roof the last time didn't do it right.
Yeah.
And the flashing wasn't done correct in the chimney.
Right.
But it was a question of a balancing act because we hadn't put that in the budget.
Right.
This roof happens to be red cedar. It would have been upwards of $60,000
Holy
just to
schmoles.
get the
I was
shingles.
crying.
Oh yeah. Oh, I don't get nervous
I don't
usually.
blame you.
but
I would have been crying
Yes,
too.
No.
I had a momentary pause
Yeah.
of what the hell are we gonna do?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So what did you do? You fixed it. Because it didn't leak it now. And we've had,
No.
trust me, hasn't this been a lovely spring
Oh,
on
a
Cape
very
Cod?
wet, rainy spring.
I know.
Yeah.
No, thankfully, and big kudos to everybody on our team. Rich got up on the roof. We were looking around. We have our Mason James, who's Irish as they come off the boat.
Yeah.
And we get up there and we're looking around. We peeled away some shingles, replaced all the flashing around the chimney, inspected the roof caps.
So were the caps okay?
The roof caps were okay.
Yeah.
And then we had a custom top made for the chimney topper.
Oh, okay.
To try to guard against any rain going in the chimney and pushing out through the flashing.
Sure.
The combination of taking all those tactics.
Did you have to reappoint the chimney?
We had to repoint the
The
chimney.
flashing along the edges too. was
All the flashing along the edges, the drip edges.
Wow.
We resealed all that. So we really tried to find every problem area possible, hit the roof with a hose, and then just waited for the rain to see what would happen.
Yeah.
And it took us about 3 different tries of doing all of that stuff, trying to eliminate one problem after another before we finally fixed it.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of my viewers know I was in the shopping center industry for 30 years. So I had to deal with flat roofs.
Oh, yeah.
And water can come from
Yep.
the corner to the left side and come clear across to the right side corner, know.
It'll
so
find a way.
It's hard. It finds a way. And so
Very hard.
It's it's a hard thing to figure out.
It is, yeah.
So that's amazing that
Yeah.
you got that, you figured it out and got it done.
We were psyched. I mean, it was still expensive to do, but it was a quarter of the cost that doing the roof would have been. And so we had a little bit of a sigh of relief because then we could afford to paint inside.
Yeah. And I mean, like every single window in the house had to be redone.
Every
They
single
were all
one.
rotted. And I don't know if you noticed too, I just wanted to point out that window over there is the original trim we think was much older than the rest of the house. A lot of it was done in the 70s.
Right.
So that was original. So we
tried to-
replicated that here.
Yeah.
And so the chamfering that we have here is all custom
Nice.
made. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So we spent a lot of time on the little details.
Right. So what are you going to do with this house? You guys moving in?
Well, Jenny was funny. She was like, "We should just go down there and stay for a little while," which actually we may do.
We'll all drive by. Hi, neighbor.
Yeah, exactly. And then, like she said, as part of the RFP process, we are required to open it up to the town a couple of times a year. So we're going to do a town open house, and then we're probably going to try to do something around the holidays.
Nice.
Yeah.
Just
Well, they
to
do a
share it.
whole, holidays and sandwich.
Yeah, we love
Exactly.
it.
It is a huge deal.
Yeah.
I know.
Oh,
So
yeah.
to
I
have
think
this on the tour would be amazing.
it made like the top 10 towns, like it's town and country or country
Yeah,
living
yeah,
for Christmas
I know.
celebrations. So
I know.
yeah, it's a big deal.
Our little town.
That's awesome.
And then we're looking forward to sharing this with a wider audience too. We're likely going to make this available for short-term rentals so that
Wonderful.
people can come and stay and experience the house in person and enjoy the town of Sandwich.
That's wonderful. No plans to sell it currently.
No. I would say if I have to sell something, I'll sell something else because this is near
too
and
close to
dear
your
to
heart.
my heart. Yeah, and Michael's too. So no, this is
I
not going
understand.
anywhere.
So you work with, your company is called what?
Full Circle Homes.
I can't say
Yep.
it, but
Yep.
I know what it's called. Full Circle Homes. And you live now in Plimpton, right?
That's correct.
Yes.
That's right. And
Yes.
you have a store up there?
Yes, our store is called Mayflower Mercantile.
And where is it in Plimpton?
It is on 4 Mayflower Road,
Mayflower.
right in the center of town.
There's
Yeah.
one,
The only
there's one
set of
stop.
lights.
Stop.
Yeah.
There's only one set of lights in town.
Yeah.
We love our small town, but it's all locally made goods. So we use a lot of local artisans and local farmers, and then our
Nice.
own antiques are in there too.
Excellent.
So.
Well, I know you have a salvage barn because you
Yes.
went looking for a sink.
Yes.
Definitely.
You were throwing sinks around with your buddy that you work with. What's
Yep.
his name again?
His name is Rich. Rich
Rich.
is one of our lead carpenters.
Right. He's
Yeah.
the kind of he's your straight man. No, you're the straight man. He's kind of the comedian. Of the
It all depends. Yeah. No. But Rich and I have been friends for a long time. We were college roommates.
Nice.
Jen and Rich joke that, Jen I mean, Rich lived with me first.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so they share notes half the time. But
That's cute.
yeah, we've known each other for a long time. He's super
Wonderful.
talented
Yeah.
craftsman, and you know, he was employee number one for us, and
Yes.
and you know, he's been with us ever since.
Oh, that's great.
Yep.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, he is funny.
Yeah,
I will say that.
he's funny, certainly.
He has good dad jokes.
Yeah, he is. He's master of dad jokes.
So there is this room, which is the dining room.
Yes.
And then there's the kitchen, which was that a keeping room?
It was
at
just a
once?
keeping room. I mean, it was really where the displays were and the cup plates and things
right.
that were for sale when it was
Right.
Burgess.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the kitchen is right off the dining room, and then we've got a buttery or a pantry, a bathroom, a full bathroom downstairs, which never existed before.
Right.
That was just a storage room before, and then the living room.
And the living room.
And then upstairs is 3 bedrooms and 2 full baths.
Wow.
And a little library as well.
Oh my gosh. Well, on the show, you didn't show the upstairs.
No.
And I kept thinking, well, maybe they didn't do it, you know. So this is good to know.
Yeah.
That you have 3 bedrooms, 2 full baths upstairs,
Yes.
a full bath downstairs, so everybody can shower when they come back from the beach.
That's correct.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
Yep.
And that's great. And you can take your kayak out on the pond.
You can.
Yeah.
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 I mean, how better could it get?
Yeah.
Can't. It's such a lovely spot. I mean, and Sandwich has so much to offer anyway.
yeah, it does.
That, you know, hopefully people love it as much as we did growing up here.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure. Then they'll want to move here. They're going to lose their taxes.
No.
It's always something, right?
Yeah, of course.
You know, always
It's
something.
New England. We have to find something to complain about.
So where do you go from here? You did this. Now what are you doing?
Yeah, so we're continuing our design and restoration business. We're in full design mode right now on, I don't know, like 15 different projects. We're working on a house in Plimpton
Oh my
and
goodness.
a few other smaller projects, and then we'll start some bigger projects. We have a house in Harwich that needs to be moved, and a
Moved.
house in
You gotta
Kingston.
Hoist it up.
There's another gentleman that we'll be working alongside that is a house mover. It's going to lift that, move it back, and then we're going to work on the restoration of it.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
wonderful.
So there's a lot of planning that goes involved.
Oh, of course.
It is
of course.
involved with all of that. So
Well, it's funny, and you read the history about homes on Cape Cod. They did a lot of, let's take the house to Nantucket.
That's
they
right.
put it on a boat and took it to Nantucket.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, the funny thing is, you think about it, and you think about that like it's crazy because
Yeah.
we're thinking about it in today's terms. But if you think about that historically, when they didn't have a hardware store and a lumber mill readily available, it was actually
Right.
much easier
Yeah.
to put a house on a boat or a truck
Right.
or some type of, transportation
Yeah.
and move it than
Yeah.
it was to mill all the materials, make the nails. Like it's
Yeah.
it's just a mindset shift.
I
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
yeah, and no
For
utilities
sure.
to move and all
Yeah.
of that. Yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah, they were no utilities.
No.
Right.
No, we have a
So-
house that we're looking at right now that we may move
In
if we can
Plimpton.
get it all figured out and move it down the street, and it's got an amazing history to it.
Is
Yeah.
that right? Oh,
Yep.
that's
Yeah.
great. So you guys are learning all this about southeastern Massachusetts and Cape Cod, all the history. That is
Yeah.
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you need to do besides all the shows, you should do your own little movie about all this stuff.
Well, we've thought about it, so we may do a channel on YouTube, or
Yeah.
because there's ways to capture all of that and some of the behind the scenes
Yeah,
stuff that we
well.
don't have time to do on the show.
Yeah. It's
Um,
only a 43-minute episode, so they can't, like they didn't include all the rooms upstairs because there's just no time to
know.
show that much space. So.
Right.
Yeah.
And you've got their people that you have to deal with and what they
course.
want to do.
Oh,
It's,
absolutely.
it's
yeah.
up to them. So it's
Exactly.
it's not under your
It's not. We do not.
Provence to do all that
Right.
stuff.
Well,
We don't edit it or anything.
That's the
Yeah.
interesting thing that people
Yeah.
don't understand about TV a lot of times is, they'll ask us, well, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? That's not up to us.
No.
It is, we're seeing
And we
it.
want to keep the show.
That's right, exactly. We're seeing it for the first time. We don't get any editing rights. It's,
Yeah.
we'll go, okay. Like,
Yeah.
sometimes we'll see
Yeah.
it and go, I had no idea they were going to do that.
Well, your store came over beautiful. In fact, I was talking with executive director of Sandwich Community Television, and I went, we have to take a ride. We
Oh,
got to
thank
go
you.
see the stores. So again, the store's name is
Mayflower Mercantile.
Mayflower Mercantile on
Mayflower
Mayflower
Road
Road.
in
How
Benton.
could we not get that?
There you go. We try to keep it
Seriously.
simple. Yeah.
Seriously. And if somebody wanted to contact Full Circle Homes, how would they do that?
You can go on to fullcirclehomes.com and or email us at info@fullcircle-homes.com.
Yeah.
But our website is out there. We're also on Instagram. We have Jenny at Full Circle Homes, and Mike is Iron and Oil Mike.
Iron and oil?
He loves.
I'm a big old car and motorcycle hound.
Gotcha.
And then when it comes to even restoring homes, I love incorporating iron pieces and everything. So
Right.
if
Yeah. And then we have a Facebook page. It's Full Circle Homes and Farm.
Wonderful.
So
Wonderful. Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, I will tell you, this is outstanding. And
Thank
the
you.
living room is so beautiful. And,
I'm glad you like it.
it's just, I mean, the whole house has the ambiance is
Yeah.
just lovely.
Thank you.
And it's inviting.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
from
supposed
what
to
I
be.
remember, before it closed down,
Yeah.
it didn't have that feel to it.
Yeah.
You've brought the spirit back to the house.
Well, to Jen's credit, and she really deserves a lot of credit on this.
Well, that's good news.
that's nice.
No, seriously, I mean, a lot of people, I think, sometimes are hesitant to think about primitive first period homes because they'll think about low ceilings and, kind of antiquated styles. And Jen has a real good way of mixing colors and textures from all the different periods, but making it feel appropriate to the house. And like you just said, comfortable.
yeah.
And you want to come in, have a cup of tea, sit down and relax
Right.
and just enjoy the house. And that's really, we don't want people to have barriers to old homes. We want them to feel like this is what I always should have lived in.
Oh, yeah.
And there was no ghost here or anything like that. You didn't run into any ghosts or anything
mean,
weird stuff.
I saw ghosts when I was little here, so I don't know if the ghost is still here.
Yeah.
But nothing during the renovation, so,
Nothing, so
you never know.
They moved out.
Yeah, or they like what we did and they're fine. So.
Yeah. Good to go. Excellent. Wonderful. Well, I can't thank you enough.
Thank you.
And I'm so glad Sandwich graduates made good. This is a good thing.
Yay.
But no, seriously, you're a delightful couple and you've done an amazing job. It's absolutely amazing. And thank you so much.
No,
Thank you.
you.
Thank you for having us.
Oh.
No, we're looking forward to sharing the house with the town and anybody else who wants to see it.
Hey,
Yeah.
well, don't leave me off your invitation list.
We will.
No, not at all.
Okay, all right. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Wow, Jen Macdonald and Michael Lemieux. How fantastic is Full Circle Homes to restore this gorgeous antique home, the Deacon Eldred House. What they are doing with homes across the Cape and southeastern Massachusetts, to me, is quite amazing. And I'm just glad you got to get a peek at it with me today. So I want to thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time on another Cape Conversations.